Good morning. Welcome to New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Barbara Wuest, and I welcome you here on this day and all days. If this is your first time with us, just know that we welcome all paths to spirit, all walks of life. Everyone truly is welcome here. We have a great service today. We have Brian Harris and some of our NTCSL musicians who are creating music. And of course, it's Father's Day, which I will talk about in a little bit. So let's move forward as we open up to Spirit.
I invite you to join me now in our time of prayer. If you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes and just breathe into this moment, settling into right here and right now. And it is in this moment that I so clearly know that we are all one, that there is one powerful presence moving through all events, all situations, and absolutely showing up as all outcomes. I know this powerful presence is blessed, is good, is light. I feel this presence so clearly now in my being, awakening in my heart a desire for good, a desire for love. And I absolutely know that this same awakening is happening here now on our planet, that we are all desiring good. We are all waking up to love. And I hold this same truth for our blessed community, our blessed ministry, our staff, the many hands it takes to bring you this wonderful experience. I know that we are love. I know that we are light. I know that we are powerful. And it is in gratitude that I simply let it go in this truth, knowing that we are blessed. And so it is. Now is our time for meditation with Brian Harris. So I invite you to let it all go. Let it roll right off your shoulders as you relax into this blessed song.
Let it roll right
Thank you, Brian Harris, and all of our wonderful NTCSL musicians. What a perfect opening for the celebration that we have today, which is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day for all of you dads, fathers, granddads, stepfathers, any male role model. If we were meeting together in person, I would have all of you stand up so that we could totally applaud you and congratulate you. So in your own home, wherever you are, if you're a father, any of those things that I said, father, grandfather, stepfather, male role model, please stand up right now so that we can congratulate you and thank you for being here for us today and for creating such wonderful spiritual paths for all of our youngsters in the world. And if you happen to be with a dad or anyone who creates that same sense of security and love from that male role model, please go and give them a big hug from me right now. That would be the best. So Father's Day is a day of honoring fatherhood and paternal bonds, as well as the influence of fathers in society. This has been celebrated since the early 1500s in Europe and became an actual national holiday here in the US beginning in 1910. So this has been going on for a long, long time, over 500 years. Why? What is it about fathers that needs to be celebrated? Well, some of you might not have had the best experiences growing up with your dad, where others of you think that you have the greatest dad in the whole world. You can look at your dad, anything from a sperm donor to the best man that ever walked the earth. I would say that most of us are somewhere in the middle. So again, why is it that we celebrate dads on Father's Day? A friend of mine said, no matter if your father is or was a good one, or a bad one, or a weak one, it's a very strong bond. And after hearing this, I realized the truth of the statement. Next year, it'll be half of my lifetime that my father's been gone. And I can't even imagine that. It doesn't seem like it's that long ago. It seems like I was just talking to him on the phone about my life. It truly is a very strong bond. I can say at times that my dad was a dad, and then at other times he was a father. So what's the difference between those? Well, it depended upon the amount of fun and or compassion I felt coming from him at that time. If I was being reprimanded, he was a father. And if we were having fun playing games and truly in that space of joy, he was my dad. I think you guys can probably relate. I was curious how others felt about their dads. So I recently posted a question on Facebook asking, what are the qualities of someone who you would call dad or consider a father figure? Think about that for a minute. What are the qualities of someone who you would call dad or consider a father figure? Well, here are some of the replies that I got. Caring, likes to show me how to do things. Patient, likes to laugh. Kind, trustworthy and forgiving. Protective, teaches me how to be safe, smart, and independent. Unconditional love, respect and support, generous, sweet, loving, and non-judgmental, a good listener and my biggest cheerleader, a man who respects women, and if he has sons, teaches that to them. He smells good. Somebody said Old Spice. I would say that every single Father's Day, my dad got Old Spice from one of us, 4 girls. Also, a dad believes in allowances. Now, I don't know if this was allowance as you get to make mistakes or allowance as the cash kind. But either way, I'm all for it. And then there are so many more. So I'm not sure if any of these qualities are similar to the ones that you see in your own dad. But I hope that they are qualities of a man or men in your life who have been good mentors. Paul Harvey's definition of a father is this: a father is a thing that is forced to endure childbirth without an anesthetic. A father never feels worthy of the worship in his child's eyes. He's never quite the hero his daughter thinks, never quite the man his son believes him to be, and this worries him sometimes. So he works too hard to try and smooth out the rough places in the road for those of his own who follow after. Great perspective from a great man. So one of the responses I received on my Facebook post was interesting to me. The response was, I never had a dad I looked up to, so no idea what some of those qualities or traits were. So I wanted to know more, so I asked, have you had other men in your life fill that spot? And his reply was, not really anyone that crosses my mind anymore. But back in the day when a person with some sensitivity was around, that was always welcome. Well, the response made me wonder what it would be like if we all had more than just our dad as mentors, father figures, role models, and teachers, ones that we could create a parental bond with, especially if we don't feel like we got all that from our own dad as we were growing up or all that we desired. And even if we did, especially if they are gone now, who wouldn't want to have another dad, right? Well, 10 years ago, a book came out that has recently been turned into a TV show called Council of Dads. This real life story is about a dad with twin daughters, young girls, who finds out that he has a rare form of cancer and less than a 15% chance of surviving treatment. So he realizes that if he dies, who would be there for his wife and daughters? So Bruce Feiler, he's the author, he chronicles his journey in this book as he reaches out to 6 extraordinary men who helped shape him and asks them to be present in the lives of their daughters. I think it would be so cool to have a bunch of dads out there to connect with and to get that paternal hug and wisdom from, especially since I so miss my own dad. Bruce is thinking about his little girls growing up without him. He thought, would they wonder who I was? Would they wonder what I thought? Would they yearn for my approval, my discipline, my love, my voice? And if I would give Bruce any answer to that, I would say absolutely yes, your children will ask all those questions. So he and his wife created a set of guidelines for choosing the Council of Dads, coming up with a list of men from all parts of his life, beginning from the time he was a child, stretching through to his current time. They were men who knew him best, who shared his values, and who helped shape and guide him. So he composed a letter to each of them, and he said this: I believe my daughters will have plenty of resources in their lives. They'll have loving families. They'll have welcoming homes. They'll have each other. But they may not have me. They may not have their dad. Will you be there to help them by being their dad? Will you be my voice? Reading along in the book, Bruce tells us of his experience asking each of these men that he selected if they would be his voice. And during those intimate conversations, one of the main questions that he asked each of these men was, what's the one piece of advice you would give my girls? Now, doesn't that sound juicy? What's one piece of advice you would give my girls? So what follows in the book are some of the best advices that they recommended, they suggested for each of them. What I recommend is you actually read the book. The writer is a very great writer, and the story is truly touching. So I'm just going to mention a few ideas now. So first, do something silly. In the Bible, in the Christian Bible, we have all read or heard, be as children. Well, it means to be that innocence of children. So this dad, in the Council of Dads, this man said, approach any experience as a small child might approach a mud puddle. You can lean over and look at yourself in the reflection, maybe stick a finger in it and cause a ripple, or you can dive in, thrash around, and find out what it feels like, what it tastes like. I urge you to jump in, and I look forward to seeing you back here at the end of this experience covered in mud. Doesn't that sound so fun? I know I did that when I was little. So be as children, do something fun. Do something totally silly. And then another one of the Council of Dads said, this is what I would tell your daughters. I would read the quote from Rainier Maria Rilke. Have patience with everything unresolved in your heart. Try to love the questions themselves. Do not seek the answers now because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. So live the question. So do something silly. Live the question. And then third, remember that the world is ceaselessly filled with miracles. Sometimes it just takes a crappy situation to force us to see differently. The world is ceaselessly filled with miracles. And then the fourth one, don't be in a hurry. Slow down, take a walk with the turtle, and behold the world in pause. Can you imagine walking with the turtle? Imagine all of the things that you would see in that place of pause. There is so much wisdom shared in this book. Just an example of the wisdom we each have heard or have maybe forgotten, or ideas that we have read and maybe incorporated into our own daily lives. Amidst all this discussion of what it means to be a good dad, I would add that a father shares with his kids his spirituality, opens his heart up to his children, possibly shares his most innermost thoughts of God, about the meaning of good and bad, about the golden rule, do unto others, about how our ideas of a positive, open, inclusive, loving belief in a loving spirit at the heart of each one of us is what it means to live a good life. How that belief in spirit enhances the good times and helps us get through the difficult times of loss, failure, rejection, and emotional pain that we all endure. That's just some thoughts about what our dads could have shared or maybe have shared. From the book, one of the council members said this, I value fatherhood more because I know what I lacked. The great thing about being a parent is that even though I didn't have much of a childhood as a boy, I am having one now as a father. Well, there is that, right? So for any of you who didn't have the best loving experience with the father growing up, I wish for you an open heart to take in the idea of possibly creating for yourself a council of dads who you can go to for support, guidance, and love. Create your own council of dad. Bruce Feiler said this as well. Family comes in many forms. Some we're born into, some we choose, so choose wisely. Happy Father's Day. Let us go into prayer now. A Father's Day prayer. Let us praise those fathers who have striven to balance the demands of work, marriage, and children with an honest awareness of both joy and sacrifice. Let us praise those fathers who, lacking a good model for a father, have worked to become a good father. Let us praise those fathers who, by their own account, were not always there for their children, but who continue to offer those children, now grown, their love and support. Let us pray for those fathers who have been wounded by the neglect and hostility of their children. Let us praise those fathers who, despite divorce, have remained in their children's lives. Let us praise those fathers whose children are adopted and whose love and support has offered healing. Let us praise those fathers who, as stepfathers, freely choose the obligation of fatherhood and earn their stepchildren's love and respect. Let us praise those fathers who have lost a child to death and continue to hold the child in their heart. Let us praise those men who have no children, but cherish the next generation as if it were their own. Let us praise those men who have fathered us in their roles as mentors and guides. Let us praise those men who are about to become fathers. May they openly delight in their children. Let us praise fathers who help nurture in their daughters and sons the notion of a loving, open, and giving spirit within. And let us praise those fathers who have died but live on in our memory and whose love continues to nurture us. And so let's thank all of our dads and anyone who has stepped into that role as a father figure, supporting, loving, caring, and nurturing us. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Rev Barb, for your inspirational message today. We're going to hear from Brian Harris again in just a moment. This is our time of conscious giving. We're so grateful that you chose to be here today with us. If you were inspired by the message and the music and would like to pay it forward, we're so grateful to receive your financial contributions. You can make a contribution by mail or through your bank, or you can text to give at 503-966-3236. However you choose to give, we're so grateful. And now, holding the intention of your gift in your heart, let's pray together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And now, here's Brian Harris.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, even though it wasn't written for you. But tell me, how can you stand it with your broken heart, ashamed to play the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother and sister and brother. Well, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. But what you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I guess it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. Ooh, shower the people you
Thank you, Brian Harrison, our musicians. Oh, that was so great. Remember that Rev Christine Green will be doing a prayer for our country with the Soul Awakening Prayer this coming Wednesday. Also, I will see you on the Zoom chat starting in a few minutes, followed by one-on-one prayer with our practitioners. So find the link on our website or in your weekly email. And remember to shower the people you love with love, especially our dads today, our father figures, whoever that is for you. And for everybody, let's shower everybody, all the people you love, with love. And so now, our closing blessing. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light, until we meet again. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. You are loved. Happy Father's Day.